Welcome guys to our rendezvous by the fire, guys. Hey people, and welcome back to our village, to our community, a place where we support, encourage and correct one another in love. We got married on August the 31st, 2020. I got married to my bestest friend, the love of my life. Love you. Hey my fellow villagers, drop a comment in the section bar below if you would like to see me do a video with my husband, and please drop any ideas about what you'd like us to talk about. It was the most happiest day of my life. Our wedding was we could only have 30 people at our wedding, and at that time they didn't even allow receptions, so we had to like do a little something, but we didn't really get to do a reception, but nonetheless it was beautiful. It was one of the most heartwarming days of my life. I was excited from morning to nighttime. Shout out TR, one of my greatest friends on the planet, who literally helped organize this wedding from the beginning to the end, and wow. If you'd like to see some footage, or maybe I should put a vlog together of the run up to my wedding, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will conjure that up for you guys. Anywho, let's get into this. So myself and my husband, we've been married for roughly around 3.5 months now. 4 months. We got married in September. The next day was the 1st of September.
Yeah, so we've got the whole month of September, October, November, the whole of December. We are now in January. We're in the 5th month.
We've been married 5 months.
4.5 months, not yet.
Okay.
My husband has just corrected me.
Can you imagine? The man knows the date, not me. Because we got married in the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of lockdown, we have been locked down together. Now here in the UK, we have a tier system. So 1 minute, stay at home. Next minute, you can go outside, but only meet in groups of 6 people. But generally, I work from home 24/7. He tends to work from home, but from time to time, he has to go into his office maybe once or twice a week. But generally, we're always together, y'all. Always. And today I wanted to do a video about 5 things that I have learned in my pandemic lockdown marriage. The first thing that I have learned thus far being married is the fact that just because he wants to spend time by himself doesn't mean he wants to divorce me or he's going off of me. I know it sounds intense, but basically I'm an extrovert by nature. I get energy from being around him. I love being around people. Whereas I think he's more of like an extrovert introvert. He loves being around people, but he can also really thrive by being by himself to just recharge, reflect, and should I say, unwind. So he'll do things such as like play the PlayStation or watch something on Netflix that I'm just not into. I know there's loads of Game of Thrones fans out there that are gonna throw so much shade at me, but I just didn't get into it. But shout out all the How to Get Away with Murder fans. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, like, what are you doing? Now, I didn't quite understand this when we first got married. So he'd be like in the toilet and I'd be like, hey, do you need me to help you wipe your ass? Or he'd be like in the kitchen, I'd be like, hey, do you want me to hold the onion while you cut it? Like, I was just intense, just always wanted to be around him. Also, I've come from quite a big family, so I'm used to being in a house around loads of people, right? Whereas he's the type of person that he would be like, hey, do you want to do this together? Hey, do you want to do that together? But then he'll like find himself like a little corner and just do his own thing. And I'd be like, why is he not playing with me? Why is he not spending time with me? Why is he doing his own thing? I think he's falling out of love with me, guys. Or maybe he's gonna file for divorce, y'all. He's gonna file for divorce, y'all. But really what it is that generally I work from home all the time. All the work that I do and all the things I get involved with is all the time from home. Whereas sometimes he may have to go into the office like once or twice a week. So on those days that he goes into the office, I get like complete space to myself to do my thing, to chill, to relax. For him, when he's at work, he's working. So when he returns home, I'm there like, hey, do you want to play? So sometimes he just needs to find moments just to kind of unwind, chill, be in his thoughts. I used to take it so personally. Why doesn't he want me? But we had a conversation. I had to come to understand that, Esther, we are in lockdown. This isn't normal circumstances. He is not getting space to breathe, pray, scratch his own scalp, because I'm there like, I can scratch your scalp for you. Look. I've learned to back off, to give him space, to also understand that it has to be fair. I get 2 days at home by myself. He gets no days home by himself. So Esther, fall back, let the guy breathe, let him enjoy. And just because he doesn't want to spend time with you every single minute of the day, doesn't mean he wants a divorce either. The second lesson that I've learned in my shortly married time is that we have a great friendship. A lot of the time, especially when I was single, I'd hear a lot of married people say to us singles, you know, it's really important that you find someone that's your friend, because friendship is the foundation for every good and solid marriage. And I'd be like, yeah. Being locked down with someone 24/7, you better have a good friendship, because you spend so much time in a confined space, in each other's faces all the time. I thought I pretty much knew him when we got married, but just in the fact of how much more time we spend with each other, it's like I learned something new about him every single day. And we love playing games. So I think there was like one day where we played like blackjack for hours. We literally got to like the 20th game, right? And the whole time we were laughing, joking, gisting, you know. I've never played 20 rounds of blackjack with just one opponent ever. And as you know, I was born a winner, y'all. I beat him 19 times.
Nice!
You see, when you are telling your testimony, there's also opposition calling you a liar. Anywho, the point is this, that I've learned that we have just a phenomenal friendship, and it's my hope and my prayer that as we continue to grow as a married couple, that our friendship continues to be strengthened, and in about 30-40 years, our friendship has just blossomed like a beautiful oak tree, everlasting, never-ending, deep-rooted friendship. The third lesson that I have learned is the fact that I don't have to cook every single day. Before I got married, I kind of had this expectation where I'd be cooking my husband 4-course meals every single day. I know, sounds a bit dramatic. But African girl out here, I thought, you know, I'd just be laying it down. But what marriage has taught me so far is that it's a team effort, and just the way that our lifestyles are and the various things that we have to juggle, it's just not practical for me to cook every single day. Plus, can I be very, very honest? I like being pampered. Pampering is my love language. So I love looking over at the kitchen, seeing him in there with that sexy sweat on his brow as he throws in all those ingredients in hopes of making me feel good and special, you know. My favorite part is when he brings the meal to the table and he's looking at me, waiting for my reaction as to whether or not I like the food. I take my time on purpose. You know, when you just chew very slowly, you're just like, and he's sitting there and his heart is beating him, wondering, does she like it? What's she gonna say? And so forth. When we first met, he was okay, you know, basic salt and a bit of pepper. Now he cooks all kinds of dishes. His ackee and saltfish is, his Tuscany chicken is, and his baking, don't get me started about my man's baking. What marriage is about, giving and receiving. Some days it's my chance to just serve him all out completely, not holding back. And other days it's my chance to sit back, relax, and just receive being served by someone that absolutely loves me. The lesson number 4 is the fact that I have learned that marriage is actually a mirror. You learn so much about yourself, the good, the bad, and the beautiful. No, I'm joking. And yeah, the beautiful, but also the ugly. So we have something in our marriage called NANA, which stands for, the N stands for naked, the A stands for and, the other N stands for not, and the last A stands for ashamed. So it's called NANA, naked and not ashamed. And it's really a time where we come together and we just bare our hearts to one another and share what's going on either in our worlds, or we share what we really love about the other person, or share something that we don't like about the other person that we find quite challenging. Now, the key with our Nana sessions is that we have to remain open. We cannot react in a defensive manner or be on the attack, because the key is, at the end of the day, if someone feels the way that they do, you can't tell someone that they don't feel that way. You can't tell someone what they experience, because number 1, it's unhealthy. Number 2, it's gaslighting. Number 3, it's gaslighting. And number 4, it's very controlling You have to allow people to express their feelings and have the maturity and the openness to receive that you are just not perfect. So in these Nana times, we encourage, we uplift, we pray, we share, and we also challenge each other to grow and be better. It's not always easy to hear the truth about a negative aspect of your character. However, it's so helpful. I think the key is that you want to keep growing, not just for your husband, but just for yourself. And also you want to be able to flourish in all your relationships. And who best to kind of help and support you in your growth journey than the person that loves you and has committed their life to you. I'm really learning through this process to take on my husband's encouragement, my husband's correction, as well as my husband's adoration. Don't get me wrong, when he tells me off, I don't like it. But I take it because I am committed to being better and not bitter. So yes, the fourth thing that I've learned in marriage is that marriage is a mirror, and you will learn so much about yourself that you never even knew was lying there. Pray for me. The fifth and final thing that I've learned thus far being married is the importance, drum roll, of communication. The way you communicate with one another is so vital. It's the key ingredient that pieces everything together. I hear people talk about the importance of communication. Even at my own wedding, my best friend, shout out Lee Ann, I miss you, girl. I miss you. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to actually make my wedding because our borders were closed. But because she is a ride or die, she is my home slice. She created a PowerPoint slide, did a full presentation about the importance of communication. Every single point my sister said was 100% accurate. Where you converse with one another, even body language can make something good or something bad. Obviously, you're both brought up from two different cultures. I'm from West Africa, Ghana, shout out all my Ghanaians, and he is Jamaican. And so being from two different cultures, two different households, being raised completely different, certain words will mean something to me that means something completely different to him, as well as vice versa. Tone of voice can mean everything. Even the decibels of your tone can either make a conversation or break a conversation. In the earlier days of our marriage, he'd always call me mate. I'd be like, am I your mates? Am I your classmates? My name is Trevor, or my name is Joey. No, my name is Esther, and I am your wife, and I am to be addressed as bae, or babe, or sweetheart, or ruby, or apple of my eye, or the thing that makes my heart go gilly gilly, but I don't know about any classmates. Even something as simple as that could turn into such a disagreement, whereas for him, he thought it was, a term of endearment, whereas where I'm coming from, it's like, I'm your friend playing, I'm your small friend playing with you, isn't it? I'm not the one giving you love, So we had to have many conversations about that until I completely understood where he was coming from and he understood where I was coming from. So as a result of just having those hard conversations, as well as having that nana space to express how we truly feel, and building our vocabulary and building language that helps both parties to always feel honored, our communication is so much better. I mean, we can disagree on something and be laughing in the next 2 minutes, whereas that wasn't necessarily the testimony before the clarification, if you get what your sister is saying. So the most important lesson I've learned, and I believe every human being that wants to be in any form of relationship needs to learn, is how to communicate. So I thought this video would be really good to do, just to share some of the lessons that I've learned, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. It's just been such a time of complete confusion. So even trying to process yourself and look after your own mental health, and then having someone else who's in your space 24/7 is an intense experience, but it's been a beautiful experience nonetheless. We have learned some great lessons. We've had some moments of lows, but generally we've had a lot of highs, a lot of parties, parties. All right, let me calm my skins down. We've had such a blast, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I know I'm a bit of a cheese ball, and my husband knows that I can be a bit of a cheese ball, but honestly, there is no one else on this planet that I would rather be locked down with than you, baby. He makes me absolutely laugh, and every single day I can say hand on heart, I feel so loved, so protected, and so cherished. And why am I about to cry? It's not that deep, y'all. Come on, sis. And I love him from the bottom of my heart. And in this time of emergency, it's made me realize why I've made the best choice that I could have ever made in my entire life. So this video goes out to every single person that's locked down with another person. It doesn't have to be your husband or your wife or your partner. It could be your mom, your dad, your housemate. Let's keep going. Let's keep encouraging each other, and let's keep pushing forward and being better versions of ourselves, so that when we come out of this lockdown, we come out better and not bitter. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have been able to learn, or this video has just been able to make you laugh or give you an insight into our world over here. Please keep us in your prayers as we continue to pray for y'all as well. Please drop a comment in the comment section below if you have any tips for marriage, relationships. If you've been married 5 minutes, 10 years, I want to hear from you. I think the more we share tips about these things, the better our relationships and our lives will flourish. And also don't forget to like and subscribe. And guys, I will see y'all in the next one. Before y'all go, I thought I'd just pop in here and say we hit 200 subscribers. I am so grateful. And because we're a village and we've hit a new milestone, I'm going to do a giveaway.